I got some 18s in here. Some 12. 12 of them. You want to see it? Hey, what's going on, YouTube? EXO coming at you here from the mountains of Tennessee. What a beautiful day. Hope you guys are doing well yourself. We have got some bass lined up for today, some next level bass. As you know, we've been building up this behemoth of a sound system for quite a few years now on YouTube, but today it's finally time to really let her rip. Up to this point, she's been babied for the random weak spots here and there, but with the majority of the big stuff finally beefed up, I'm excited to show you guys the official drop-in results and go through some awesome demos with you guys personally. Inside, there's 12 Soundstream XXX subwoofers. These 18s were made over 20 years ago, but I fully restored them with new hardware, paint, and fresh recones from PSI Car Audio. You may recognize these subs from the infamous blowout video. Everyone thought they were ruined forever, but here we are getting louder than ever with the same old subs. The voice coils are dual 1.4s, and they're all wired in parallel with tons of full tilt audio 4 gauge. Chose that to mainly hide the wires inside the box, actually used the steel frame on the baffle itself to neatly guide everything through. Up back, we've got a fully welded amplifier rack custom made for both the 6,000 and 8,000 watt incriminators. That way, if I ever want to upgrade power, it's a simple swap to even bigger amps. Each one bolts down into heavy-duty vibration isolators, and the rack in front has integrated LED lights that match the music. The battery bank just below is 800 amp hours of Yinlong LTO, snagged up some of the last from excess power, and chucked on a set of aluminum bus bars from Toolmaker Metalworks. There's even a secret tunnel designed in the floor for extra cooling. Protected fans from underneath take in fresh air, and additional fans placed carefully in line exhaust air through each compartment. Huge amounts of ventilation. On the side, there's a single 1,000 watt 4 channel for the tweeters and two 3,000 watt 2 channels for the mid-range. Little mismatch right now, but going all incriminator here soon. Recycled some copper bars from my old build, got some 4-aught welding cable from the front to the back, and all the intricate wiring for the LED controllers and fan speed regulators is hidden inside a foldable wooden platform. The sound system is driven by a Samsung Galaxy tablet paired with a Helix MK2 signal processor. There's options to run shared channels through an RCA box from Scott Bowman, or there's the option to run separate channels through a second DSP with the turn of this switchboard here. That also allows me to choose different bass knob setups. I can go wired with an LC1, wireless with the Amp Lab controller, or bypass it with the Helix Director LCD screen. The doors are loaded up with 10 speakers per side, 8 8s, 6 6s, and 6 tweeters total. The Crescendo, Ultra Neos, and Chiare CT440s. Fingers crossed I can rock even more Chiare for testing soon. The sub enclosure is a massive 6th order bandpass with a bit of quarter wave fun thrown into the mix. Applied some interesting ideas in combination with what's practical, ended up changing designs a couple different times, but the cage itself was a huge learning experience. Hats off to 252 Customs for helping me with the initial shell. Top, bottom, and sides all 1.5 inch square tubing. When I caged out the front, yeah, I could have left an access door, but I went fully steel there too. Looking back, I would have definitely added it, but hey, at least it's strong. The baffle is braced by 22 vertical supports, 10 on top and 12 underneath, extremely rigid. Welded those up with 1-inch round tube, with the top ones being removable completely. The rear port is actually secured to 3 of them at the bottom. It's a 22 Hz slot port, all interchangeable. You can go shorter or longer for tuning lower or higher. The front here is just about tapped on overall area with some small roundovers at most. The tuning may just have to stick around 45 Hertz. Open like this, kind of like a transflex. I don't know, but any smaller and I'll really start eating into valuable square inches. Of course, I'll test it in real life, but another advantage to angling the baffle, I suppose. Now for the fun stuff, I have yet to ever burp this thing. Of course, there was a couple meters chucked in at Slam on demos, but that was being cautious. Doors open, scared shitless to break anything, because I actually drove this the 800 miles that weekend. No towing. So needless to say, I've been itching to finally button this sucker up and hit max volume. Hopefully build some good pressure on a solid test tone and no tweaks, no adjustments yet, just initial results. And kind of nervous, to be honest. This is stuff usually people don't share because it puts you on the spot a bit context-wise. For reference, my last build, Little Blue, gained over 8 decibels from its initial turn on. Just took some time getting used to the setup. But of course, there were those comments at the start, dang it. So whatever we learned today, it's only gonna get better once fine-tuning can be dialed in. Let's have some fun, shall we? Alright, now let's go ahead and try it in the kick, right down there. Oh my word! 66.4! Oh my gosh! Outlaw style! With the thing of the kick! With all... Oh! You guys, and I haven't done a single thing to this enclosure. Oh my word, window shut for the real first time. Shutting this window. Meter right up in here, it was right there. And before we did the 64 and change on the dash, I just got the 66 and change in the kick. That's gonna be a 67, guys. Drop it. I can get that probably with just a few other changes and frequencies. This was the first frequency I tried since the sweep was indicating it was loudest, but when you go louder, your sweeps on lower volume can sometimes change. 12 Soundstream triple X's with PSI softies. Oh, that's some incriminator power right there coming at you. A whole huge heap and pile of bass. I got some 18s in here. Some 12. 12 of them. You want to see it?
I heard that little boom a while ago.
Oh yeah, that's actually what I do here, right here at Showtime. There's a store right here.
Okay.
Poke your head in there.
18. Holy f***ing shit.
I'm sorry if I was disturbing you, but I was just doing...
I heard it. I want to hear it again.
Really?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to go right here to the passenger side?
Is that what you're going to do, competition? Or?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Right now I'm just doing like little tones, but this is what it's like on a low tone.
Son of a bitch!
It's like a roller coaster. It gets the adrenaline pumping, man. I'm a junkie. I live for this.
I seen when you jumped out of the
Well, that's my world. That's my personal best today. I've never gotten this loud. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. What's your name, man?
I'm Harold.
Nice to meet you, Harold.
Yeah, I'm from down around Nashville. I'm up here working.
I'm up in Granger County.
Cool.
Yep. Spreading the love of bass over here at Showtime.
Damn, that sounds good.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Holy shit. My subs were barely even moving, but my door, oh my word, my door. I think I'm gonna roll down my window just a little bit because that is gonna break something. Did you hear that amount of flex? Oh, actually no, I'm gonna go just once. I gotta try it, right? I have to. We were at a 56.6 and the subs were barely even moving. Let's try it again, dang it. Man, this is gonna be nerve-wracking. See if I can get some of that door as well. Not really. I could easily get that 65 if I had someone holding my door. That thing is reckless endangerment right there. I'm putting a lot of stuff at risk just by turning it on that loud. I think that was one and done. I need to do some more Vibraflex maybe in the doors. Good old Showtime's got plenty of that. But guys, I'm almost at a 65 at 28 hertz. That is freaking awesome. Oh boy.
For bitches with asses.
I'm so sorry.
No, worth it. Totally worth it, dog. I was like, I just couldn't get a breath.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, dude, insane. Listen, I followed this build from A1.
Nigga, I thought you was a thug. I ain't got nowhere to go. I shot up.
That feels good, man.
Oh, God. I don't think a rapper had to stop it now.
That's like a roller coaster, dude. Holy crap, he says.
You might be the loudest one here. Coming from a single 12 to this, I'm a trooper, dude.
Uh-oh.
What's up, YouTube?
It's all downhill from here. He just showed me a video of his single 12 in a wall doing hair tricks. That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Hey, shout out to the YouTube. Like and subscribe. Post notifications on.
we have it, blasting away on all 1218s. Oh boy, feels so good to have a group of people crowding around, getting a taste of bass, and it's only getting louder from here, like we've already mentioned. And as a little informational outro segment, I've got a whole list here, over 20 different areas, reasons, things that I plan on doing, from like easiest to hardest, of getting louder. Getting louder is everyone's goal, so here's the first thing I plan on doing because it's super easy. Number 1, try out 0 dB test tones. As you guys saw here, I was using -5 because that's what we tuned our amps at. But I am curious if we go into that next level of clipping, if we could get louder, because I know it's not always safe for longevity, but clipping can get you a little bit louder on the meter. And number 2, since we're talking about tones, I would try a louder bass sweep and fractional frequencies. That is to say, on this last test, I did like a bass sweep to find the peaks at like 140 dB. I should bring that into like the mid 155 dB. That way, if there are any changes in the level of SPL regarding the peak, I'll be able to account for that and then dial in with a fractional frequency. So instead of 48, maybe I could do 47.5, maybe 48.5, or anywhere in between. And you'd be surprised, that can also make a difference. And number 3, since it's also really easy to do, I would hold the burp a little bit longer. So when I was doing the test tone, if I let the duration play just a tad bit longer, maybe that could have registered a higher SPL, since it's still possibly building up pressure. I don't want to lose any on that end. And number 4, since it still is knob related, I'd like to try an analog LC1 versus the Helix Digital MK2. That way, if there's any differences between going direct inline on the RCA or digitally through the signal path, I'll be able to account for that just with a simple test too. Number 5, remove the front seats. I have no idea how much these are acting as obstructions or blockages to this front opening, but it would be interesting to know if I took them out, if we went up on the meter. Number 6, phase match the amplifiers. Since everything's already gain matched for even power levels, we could improve even more by making sure that the phase alignment from amps 1 through 12 are all lined up perfectly. And number 7, have a friend hold the door. You guys saw how much flex there is, and that's definitely absorbing a lot of that potential sound pressure energy. So just having an extra pair of hands on the outside pulsating or giving some good pressure can help bring up that extra bubble of pressure for the score. And number 8, still speaking of the doors, is just giving it some extra reinforcement. Maybe going in there with some solid material between the second skin with some strategically placed bracing. I don't want to eliminate the up and down friggin' actuator on the window, but I think there's still a way to really beef that up. Number 9, install a stripper pole. Even though the movement right now isn't terrible, I've only ever gained from bracing from the roof to the floor, so I will be curious to know if that does the same in this build too. And number 10, tape around the window seams. I've heard some crazy stories from SPL competitors telling me how much they've gained just by some crucially placed Gorilla Tape around the glass and the seams of it. And number 11, just like the windows over here, I want to seal up around the edges of the subs. You'd be surprised how much leakage can happen on those solid frames. Right now I don't have the rubber gaskets, so once I remove those, I'm going to add some of that window seal, some of that door trim seal, just to make sure we don't have any air leaks coming from the bottom. And number 12, starting to get in a little more time consuming methods, is adding a rear 45 at the top of that box. You can see how it's a straight 90 right now, but I would be interested to know if we guided it up with a nice little smooth transition, if that could help us on the meter as well. And number 13 is to shrink the internal box volume. It would all be really experimental. You'd want to go slow, but I've heard a lot of people only improving once they start to tailor the inside of their box, maybe remove some of the extra cubes in there just to really dial in that internal volume. And number 14, since we're messing with the box, is to try different port combos. The rear is able to change from longer to shorter and even bigger and smaller, so that would be the next step. Once we start messing around with the internals of the box, we'd have to kind of account for that with the port, and luckily we're able to do that with this platform. And number 15 is also really connected to the previous 2 steps, because they would definitely give us a lot of information leading up to this, and that is testing different loading walls, coming in from the sides, going up from the bottom, just finding that utter sweet spot in combination with what we already did in the rear and possibly inside the box. And number 16, since we already have it, would be to upgrade the windshield to a double layer thick, baby. Hunter Martin hooked us up with a nice beefy 2-layer. That can only help things. There is a little bit of movement as it sits right now, but nothing terrible enough to break it, which I'm so surprised. How is this thing staying intact? I broke my windshield in the van at like 155. Here we are at over 165, and it's fine. And at number 17, getting more into the equipment side of things, since that's the last thing I want to be doing, changing things, spending money, is upgrading the voice coils to true 1 ohm coils. Right now, we're kind of the equivalent of dual 2s. So if I can get that down to that extra level for our amplifiers pushing out that juice, I think that could set us over the edge even more. And at number 18, speaking of even more power, would be upgrading from the 6,000 watt bass amps to the 8,000 watt bass amps. Obviously, just chucking in more power isn't always a guaranteed decibel gain, but in this case, we're nowhere near power compression, so I think it's a pretty safe bet. And at number 19, drilling that same point home even more, would be finally upgrading to newer subs. This is an older platform. The cooling is kind of lacking. You know, obviously the coils are very nice because they're top tier, 8 layers from PSI, but in other categories, I really think that we could improve on this overall platform. It's a very capable woofer, but I'm so curious what would happen. And at number 20, we're starting to really get into the crazy stuff, doing everything we can to get louder. This is probably a long time in the future. Building an extreme dashboard. You can gain so much by taking out this vulnerable area up here that's full of plastics and components, stuff that's only doing you a disservice. Removing that, putting up freaking solid material, steel, wood, and caging it. That's why I have it at freaking number 20. So these are all extreme, starting to get to be extreme options. So number 21, getting to be another extreme option, would be add a bolt around frame on this door. That way all the pressure that tries to escape around the edges is contained, it's locked, it's bolted in. That takes a lot of work and a lot of modifications. And at number 22, still focusing on this side of the vehicle, would be adding an extra thick layer of side glass, removing the up and down factor of my windows and going full extreme on that as well. Since we already added the bolt around frame on the door, we could do the same method on the glass. I've seen so many extreme vehicles, even musical ones, do that for the glass, and it's like this dang thick. There's no pressure escaping around there. And rolling right into number 23, we're talking about glass. Even though Hunter Martin hooked us up big time, there is an even more extreme way to go about upgrading that, and that would be going even thicker, maybe adding some partitions and some steel between the windshield and just going all out that way. So there's even another step beyond what we already have at what, like step number 18, was it the, number 16 was the double windshield. So yeah, I think by number 23, we could be even crazier, but this is all kind of just experimental, speculating and what we can do. And then at number 24, I have just start going all out. Shrinking cabin, doing cabin modifications, doing everything it takes inside this area to get us to that next level. Obviously, we may have to sacrifice at that point some of this seating, but I'm not there yet. We're still only on step 1, so this may take quite a while to go down that list. But imagine joining us for all that crazy, cool scientific stuff on YouTube. I behoove you, stick around. This is gonna be a great process. I think we're gonna learn quite a bit. Not many people bring through step by step a build this big, getting louder and how to do it, what to do, where to find it. And then if there's a thing that you did wrong, something that you did right, what you wouldn't do next time. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on, putting myself on the chopping block a little bit for some scrutiny, but that's okay. I know where this is headed, just like how Little Blue started out doing like 153 and they ended up doing over 160. This is gonna be the same situation. We started with this and we're going on up. So thank you guys so much for joining this journey. It has been so inclusive, so all-encompassing, and it's only, it's only getting better from here. I keep saying that, but I just really want to drill that point home. And even though numbers are fun to kind of chase a little bit, just remember how many smiles you saw, how many people were impressed, and all that stuff was out the window. No one was thinking about that. They were just having fun. So take all this with a grain of salt and just have fun with it, guys. I will talk to you in the next video. And yeah, I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being here. I will talk to you then.